Hey and welcome to another creepy story. I'm Birta and I will be reading these every Friday. If you're interested, you can subscribe below, but otherwise I think we should just get into it. To give a little context, I used to work at an apartment complex. As a result, I've had my fair share of creepy encounters. Most residents keep to themselves and don't cause issues, probably about 95%, but the other 5% took up almost all of my time. Isaac was one of the 5%. When he first rented his apartment, he definitely had stoner vibes, but he was nice enough and passed his background check. Almost immediately, however, he started causing issues. The lady next door complained that she could smell his smoke constantly. The guy downstairs complained he would hear his stereo all hours of the day and night. Another resident accused him of following him home one night. The police were regularly there breaking up fights between him and his girlfriends. We caught him hiding 2 large dogs in his apartment, and he regularly let them run loose, which ultimately resulted in another dog and 2 people getting attacked. He accidentally discharged a gun in his apartment once. Needless to say, he caused a lot of issues. At first, he was very apologetic and said he would make an effort to remedy the problems, but things kept getting worse, and after a year of weekly calls or notices from the office, he eventually became standoffish. One morning, I received a call from Isaac letting me know that he'd broken up with one of his girls and she wouldn't leave the apartment. He asked me to personally come up and remove her. I'm a small woman, so even if I wanted to take the risk, I physically wouldn't be capable of wrestling an angry woman out of his apartment. I suggested he call the police. He then asked if I could make a maintenance man come up to remove her. I offered to call the police on his behalf, but Isaac said he didn't want to involve them and hung up. A few hours later, Isaac came down to the office with a jump drive and said he needed to print out a 50+ page document. Residents weren't technically allowed to use our office printer, but on a rare occasion someone asked to. I usually didn't say no, and it was an easy way to build up good rapport. But between Isaac becoming such a problem tenant and how large his document was, I told him I couldn't print this document. I gave the excuse that our paper, toner, print history was monitored and we would get in trouble for printing such a large document out for him. Not liking my answer, he started screaming about how it was bullshit. He accused me of being useless, bringing up my refusal to fight his ex, and power tripping. He called me a fucking bitch multiple times and said someone needed to bring me down a peg. I was pretty over him at this point and told him that if he was going to behave like a child, that he needed to leave. He told me I couldn't make him. Bluntly, I told him he would leave or I would call the police and have him removed. I also told him I would ban him from the office going forward. Normally I try to kill the residents with kindness, but his lease was ending in a week and I didn't care anymore if he hated me. My threat seemed to work. He angrily knocked my pen holder over, then slammed both doors hard as he left. The following morning, a cop was waiting for me when I got to work. He asked if Isaac was a resident, and I confirmed that he was. The officer explained that the body of a teen had been discovered the day before, and Isaac was their prime suspect. He was the last person to text the kid, asking him to meet him where his body was found shortly after the message. The police believed Isaac had been paid to kill him. Based on the timing of the text and when the boy was discovered, Isaac would have had to left my office and gone directly there. Ultimately, the police wanted to use Isaac's move-out day as an opportunity to try and catch him. To nobody's surprise, he did not show up. When I walked his apartment to inspect for damage, there was a lot. I found a bank receipt from the day of the murder. Someone has wired him $17,000. I thankfully never saw Isaac again. He was caught in another country a few months later and is now in prison. was 24 years old at the time. I had gone out to a bar with some friends from work. I had gotten out of a relationship with this guy and was looking to unwind a bit. This came in the form of many beers and many shots. I'm no alcoholic, but this one night would have probably made people think otherwise. Me and a few friends were dancing and honestly acting like drunk idiots. One of my friends even pulled her shirt up, which of course gathered the attention of nearby bargoers. I know how dumb this was, but we were drunk and having fun. This one guy came over and started dancing near us. He wasn't bad looking and seemed to just be having a good time like the rest of us. I danced with him for a couple of songs, then gave him a hug before telling him I was going to go back with my friends. This guy didn't seem to take that as an option. He grabbed me by the wrist and pulled me back towards him. I pulled back again and tried leaving, but he wouldn't let go. I was scared half to death. I kept trying to pull away, but he just changed personality on me entirely. A guy came up behind me, put his hand on my waist, then grabbed my arm. I went into full panic mode. Now, remember, I was drunk. I grabbed my pepper spray from my keychain and turned around and sprayed him in the face. He immediately grabbed his face, and my friend, who is a Marine Corps veteran, shoved her heel right into his groin. He hit the floor like a ton of bricks. The guy in front of me left whenever the bouncer came over to defuse the situation. The guy that I sprayed got kicked out of the bar. We left not long after. The guy I sprayed was with some of his friends by their car. No sign of the other dude. He was still recovering from the altercation. My friend went over and yelled at him for trying that with me. The two started screaming at each other, and he said all he was trying to do was to get me away from the other guy. The whole situation still sent me on high alert. I was still creeped out from the whole situation, but he seemed fairly sincere. I agreed to give him the benefit of the doubt. We've been married for a year now.
Those were the creepy stories I have today. I hope you have a great evening. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.